Hi guys, it's C&NOnline, and this time we're reviewing the new Adventure Time game, Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know. The player must strive to save the Candy Kingdom by exploring the secret royal dungeon deep below the Land of Oo. The player starts the game with a chance to play as one of 4 characters, Jake the dog, Finn the human, Cinnamon Bun, and Marceline, each with their own unique moves and an arsenal of creative attacks.
The gameplay for Adventure Time is quite mixed. The game is basically based upon the old style dungeon crawler games. This basically means that the player must fight their way through each floor of the dungeon to progress through the story. Each floor has various enemies and collectibles that the player can defeat and collect, but one problem we found was that the dungeon floors were really big and there wasn't really anything going on in them to keep the player entertained. There were a few collectibles here and there, and maybe the odd enemy, but you literally found yourself walking around each floor trying to find the next way down.
Every 10 floors there is a boss, and these bosses are characters from the TV show, which you'd have thought would have been fun to fight against, but they're really simple and bland. It sounds horrible to say, but there wasn't really any huge build up to it, or even a fear factor during the fight itself. Each character has their own abilities that players can use. For example, Marceline and Jake can go over the gaps in the floor, whereas Finn and Cinnamon Bun would fall down them and lose their health. This aside, if you're playing single player, then you'll find yourself using the same character for the simple fact that you can save time from walking around the dungeons, because you can simply float or jump over gaps. For reference, there are 8 playable characters overall that are from the TV show, but the only real difference is the imagination attack that each character has.
Another thing in this game that is annoying is it makes you level up, which isn't a problem at all, but the problem is it keeps making you replay the same floors over and over till you literally don't want to play them anymore. You collect coins that allow you to upgrade your characters, with the upgrades being Focus, Imagination, Thumps, which is Health, and Rowdiness, which is Strength. You find yourself spending ages saving up for one upgrade, and when you have collected money you can go and spend it in the hub. Normally you would keep the leftover money to start saving up for another upgrade, but what this game seems to do is take the money off you and make you play the same levels over and over again and make you suffer to basically resave for a new item or another upgrade.
Every character has to be upgraded individually, and if you're playing single player this becomes more of a chore, because you have to continuously explore the same floors to ensure each character is at the same level. Playing with friends is recommended to make the experience more enjoyable and to help level 2 to 4 characters at the same time. There is a shop that you unlock eventually where you can buy certain items to help you out, such as tokens and keys, but again, to get the money for all these, you're gonna have to spend ages in the dungeon, which wouldn't be bad if they weren't so bland to play through.
Your character can get tokens which give them certain abilities and attributes, and you can get sub-weapons such as the bamboo pole and the kitten cannon to add to your arsenal. But they don't really change the gameplay, they just add a bit of humour and fun for a while, but it dies down after a few times of using them. The gameplay fundamentals are there to make a really good dungeon crawler game, but sadly somewhere along the lines, the whole idea disappeared and they just made a game with the Adventure Time brand put on it. The visual style of Adventure Time is that of a SNES dungeon crawler. Think of a more updated and refined Link to the Past game and you're on the right tracks. Environments look bright and vibrant and fit the young demographic that Adventure Time targets. Character visual appearance in the world though is one thing that we weren't too keen on.
The characters have an 8-bit stylized look to them, and compared to the more refined modern looking cartoon environments, they stood out. It would have been great to see the characters in the refined cartoon look with the environments had. Adventure Time's music is enjoyable to listen to, though the problem that does come with this is that the amount of hours you'll be putting into the game are very high, and the music does become repetitively annoying in the end. After the first hour of gameplay, you may find yourself fed up with the audio, and this is a shame, as if there's more variation in music, it may have been enjoyable to listen to. But sadly, there's no favourite piece of music, as it's all the same old music repeated over and over again.
A great part of the game is that the show's voice actors are here, and that's exactly what you want for a game that is based upon a show. Whilst it is great that the voice actors are here and that it helps add to the feel to the game that is about the show, especially during cutscenes, the voice actors get repetitively annoying after a while. Throughout the game, characters will say the same few phrases over and over. At the end of the day, it adds to the repetitive feel that this game has on itself. So let's look at the positives and negatives.
Firstly, onto the positives. The voice actors from the original TV show are there, which is great for fans. Secondly, you can play as your favourite Adventure Time characters, each with their own unique skills. And you can also play up to 4 players in multiplayer with your friends.
Right, onto the negatives. As we said before, the game is very repetitive and it does grind at you after a while. It's not worth the asking price, which is about £40, it's nowhere near that. And also it would have probably done better as an indie game or an arcade release.
At the end of the day, Adventure Time Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know sadly suffers from one key problem: repetitiveness. Other games spice up gameplay or have more going on to help drown out this problem, though sadly with Adventure Time it sticks out like a sore thumb. Whilst at first the gameplay is fun and enjoyable, it slowly starts to become unenjoyable, repetitive, and bland.
If you're a fan, you'll have more of a reason to pick up the game, because don't get us wrong, if you're a fan you'll enjoy the experience and you'll have something special to look forward to at the end. Sadly, if you haven't watched Adventure Time, this game really doesn't encourage you to want to watch the TV series or let alone buy the game. It doesn't help that Adventure Time came out at the wrong time. time when next-gen consoles are hitting the shelves and people have limited money to buy a large amount of game.
Whilst it could have made itself known, it feels like a dungeon crawler with the Adventure Time IP slapped onto it, which isn't worth the game's price tag. With a drop in price, it'd be much easier to recommend. Whilst the game does have its flaws, you do have to understand that the fundamentals of a great game are there. But the problem is the game falls short, and something has gone wrong down the line, which has launched a game which could have had so much more potential.
Sadly, Adventure Time Explore the Dungeons Because I Don't Know gets a C&N score of 4 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to leave comments down below and make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video. This is C&N signing off.
Hey, yeah.